Now, if Gordon can come in his older age with his, parts not working, if he can come to the show, be FaceTiming his wife's new boo, defend his wife, then Juan Dixon, you can get your non-working ass onto the reunion and sit your ass behind your wife, get that money, get that check. Juan, the least you could have did was got on that plane. Like, you don't have a job, you're not working. Your actions showed the world. It showed Robin and it showed the world, I don't fuck with you. I don't respect you. I understand that you're gonna go on this show, go on this reunion where my infidelity has been such a consistent topic on this show, and I understand that you're gonna be left there by yourself with all the other women and all their husbands, standing behind them. But I'm not gonna stand behind you. You can take the fire by yourself, get the check by yourself. Like, the smoke that Robin had for Chris, have it for your own man.
So sit back and relax. Melanie P. Talk to him.
That's scary with Melanie P. Come on.
Welcome to another episode of the That's Scary with Melanie P podcast. I'm your girl, Melanie P, and we are here. We are giving sick and shut in today. But I would be remiss if I did not come on today and talk about the mockery of Real Housewives of Potomac reunion that aired last night. Before we get started, y'all, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I got comments. I got content coming out for you guys this week. I have a intimacy coach coming on the show tomorrow. I'm so excited about. Cannot wait for you guys to join that conversation. But before we go there, y'all, listen. I was not feeling well today. I was actually feeling very nauseous and just kind of sick in the stomach. But I said, you know what? I could not let tonight go by without talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Now, normally I have in the past recorded a lot of commentary about the Real Housewives of Potomac, but this season fell a little bit flat for me. If it wasn't for Mia Thornton, I don't know what the show would have done, honestly. And that's another conversation for another day. I have my magnesium, y'all, because I'm really not feeling that well, but I just have to give it to you guys today because my notes from last night's episode literally started with, Robin. When I think that the green-eyed bandits can't get any just lower than low, they correct me. It truly doesn't get any lower than Gizelle and Robin across all of the Real Housewives platforms that I particularly watch. Last night was just super duper disturbing. I know there's been a lot of videos and content about the reunion, so I'm not going to go through the reunion minute by minute. I'm going to go through the parts that I just found appalling and conversation worthy. And based on what I've seen today across the social media platforms, we are united. 95% of us who are fans and watch the Real Housewives of Potomac are truly on one accord with the disgust that we have for Gizelle and Robin. So I'm going to go through my notes, y'all, and make sure you guys comment below. Let's have a conversation because, if I'm off base here, and I don't think that I am, let's discuss because I'm really open to hear other people's opinions. So the first note I put in here was, Robin. Like, Robin really has audacity. Like, I'm no longer going to call her Robin. I'm going to call her, like, audacity because if I was sitting up there season after season being Gizelle's flunky with my husband having all of these cheating allegations season after season, and he didn't even think enough of me to sit behind me and take some of the bullets for me, I don't think I would be saying much. So I got to give it to Robin at least for that. I mean, at least she has some audacity. And maybe she really understood that, this was going to likely be her last season on the show. So she truly did not care. I found it disgusting when like Gizelle and Robin had such a, it's like they can't even hide it. Like they cannot even hide their disgust. It's almost like, how in cartoons, whenever you have the bad guy and they really look like the bad guy, like they're drawn as the bad guy. They have a color of the bad guy. You can tell who the villain is in a cartoon. Like Gizelle and Robin, it's like it gets a little bit stronger every season. And I feel like this past reunion specifically, they reached an all-time low. And I feel like one thing that Wendy said that stood out to me was her saying Gizelle and Robin don't even encompass the range to have certain intellectual conversations about colorism, about race relations and different things. And that was probably the realest statement out of the reunion last night. On top of, I love how Candace's husband just read them for filth. So I put down here that, Wendy, Gizelle and Robin were mad when Wendy said, like, the looks on their face when Mia was like, oh, guess who Ink's favorite is? It's Wendy. Like every time the cameras panned to Gizelle and Robin, they just had a look of disgust, especially if it was something talking about Candace or Robin. I'm like, y'all are too old to be acting like y'all in high school, because it's really giving high school. It's giving high school petty. And I've said this before on previous episodes. It's truly a instance, in my opinion, of some type of colorism, whether Gizelle and Robin are aware of it or not. Because I've said before, and I'll say it again, I feel like because of the privilege, possibly, that Gizelle and Robin, specifically Gizelle, have had in life, I think at her 50-plus-year-old age, with her, being on a housewife show, and she's never been a wife on the show, she has, rotated different men in and out, okay, of each season, and none of them have ever stuck. And I feel like there is something inside of her that sees Candace, that sees Wendy, and to see that they're actual genuine housewives living a genuine housewives reality, seeing that they have seemingly healthy, for the most part, marriages, families. They encompass what a Real Housewife franchise should be. They're literally housewives on the Housewife show. And I feel like it truly bothers Gizelle and Robin, and truly Robin by default. I feel like if Gizelle sneezes, Robin's going to blow her nose. If, Gizelle farts, Robin's going to wipe her ass. Like, it's just, I can't. Robin is disgusting, but I feel like if Gizelle had a change of heart, so would Robin. So it's all very bad, but I feel like Gizelle is probably the brains and the leader of the operation. Gizelle and Robin talking about under their breath, are Candace and Wendy bumping vaginas? Like, I find that so crazy for them to say. Y'all are like real butt buddies, and for y'all to insinuate and make a joke and try to be funny and say, oh, Candace and Wendy, are they bumping vaginas? Like, how old are y'all? And I feel like, Gizelle has these teenage daughters and both of them have children, and I feel like, how can you just look so desperate and ridiculous on this show? It's really, really sad to see. It really makes me wonder too how Gizelle's daughter, I'm sure they watch this show, like they're teenagers, and her oldest is now in college. So I wonder what their conversations with Gizelle is around the show. I feel like the daughters have been kind of vocal on previous episodes about like kind of having embarrassment for their mom and, you know, encouraging their mom to be the bigger person. So, I mean, if children can see it, Gizelle should be able to see it too, but I don't, Gizelle and Robin are the kind of people that I don't expect much of them morally. They give snake energy, they give deception, they give cunning energy, like my mom would say. Now, when Candace was crying about Giselle's father, I felt like that was a genuine moment. I don't know what's going on with, you know, Candace crying at the drop of a dime. I gotta be honest, you know, I understand that she's human and she has these emotions, but it's kind of a bit much with her in that triangle. They're calling it the triangle. You know, I think Candace and Ashley are the youngest, and I want to say that Candace is actually the youngest. And you can tell that she is the youngest cast member, but the crying, it can be a bit much. But even the fact that Candace showed some kind of emotion and some kind of, genuine emotion towards Gizelle, even in spite of their horrible relationship and Giselle's horrible insinuations and accusations towards Candace's husband, for Candace to show that real moment and, you know, actually shed visible tears for empathy towards Gizelle. And it's like Gizelle went from sad back to that angry face, like that character, you know what I'm saying? And it's not even a character. It's almost like in horror movies when people have on a mask, you know what I'm saying? And then under the mask is like a real human face. Like that's truly like, they're like monsters, honestly. They're truly like monsters. And they can't, it's like every season they have tried to like hide the fact that they're monsters and, you know, the sun is out, you know, the moon is full. They can't hide it anymore. So I thought that was just another, like, it was just so many examples of where, like the Grand Dame said, you know, we're grown women. We're women of a certain caliber, allegedly. We should be able to come together on this cast and show each other grace and have some kind of sisterhood. But, you know, that's never, ever going to happen with Gizelle and Robin on this show because the ugliness, the jealousy, all of those things are so strong that they don't even have enough awareness to hide it. I think it's truly, truly jealousy. And I hate to say that because they're all Black women. And I hate to talk negative about another Black woman, but I truly feel like Gizelle has a strong jealousy towards Candace and Wendy. I just don't like it. You know, when Gizelle is very cunning. My mom has described older women like that to me before, and I never understood it until I got a little bit older. And Gizelle, to me, is the definition of a cunning woman. So when Wendy was explaining that, you know, her mom was in the hospital, and I think she called her mom a witch while she was in the hospital, and Gizelle kind of spun it around to say, oh, I didn't know she was in the hospital. Like she ignored the fact that she was in the hospital. She called her a witch or whatever she called her. And she wanted to just throw emphasis on the fact that she didn't know. Like, to me, Gizelle and Robin are straight Karens. They give Karen energy. Like, a Karen is not just a Caucasian woman. There are a lot of Black Karens out here. There are a lot of, you know, Karens of other races. And I truly feel like that's Gizelle and Robin. And I hate to be on this, you know, Gizelle and Robin bashing tour, but I truly was just very, 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 very floored at this reunion, mainly around the conversation of the colorism, and I'm going to get to that. So then the topic of Gizelle dating, and, you know, it was alleged that she was dating Jason from Summer House, and Andy kind of brought up the fact that Jason was seen kissing a blonde-haired woman, and how did Gizelle feel about it? And of course, Gizelle, being the quick, cunning woman that she is, she said that, you know, Jason made her aware that he was of him dating someone before it even came out, and that, you know, they are not, you know, in a serious relationship. They're just having fun. And he can do what he wants. She can do what she wants, and she's dating somebody right now. And my thing is, they press and press and press everyone to tell their business, who are you dating? Who are you cheating with? This, that, and the third. But you got a whole relationship. So you say, because I truly don't believe it. Honestly, I believe that Gizelle gives a little bit of hoe energy. Like she gives me, what was that Spike Lee movie? With Tisha Campbell. I can't think about it. I'm going to figure it out and put it on the screen somewhere. But she gives me hoe energy. And I think there's a reason why, the Grand Dame was calling her, a hoe and saying she had a fire crotch. And I don't want to say she's a hoe. I'm not going to say that. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if we found that out, that she was out here laying it low and spreading it wide for a lot of different men. And that's just the vibe that I get. If you marry someone like, who is having babies with different people and, they're cheating on that level, then, you got to kind of question your choices. But yeah, Gizelle and this whole Jason thing and her having a man that we never see, it's just, why are you here? And it makes me wonder, like, what has she done to Andy and the producers, to remain on this show? She doesn't give anything. She makes up storylines. She's not even, personable to the entire cast. I feel like she is the sole ringleader of the division of the cast. And I think without her, it would be a much, much better show. And I don't want, to be a part of someone not having a job, but I just think that she's not a good person. Her character on this show is not a good person. And I don't know if maybe I started to give her, I just keep trying to give her some grace, but I can't, because I don't think that this is just a character. I don't think that this is just an act. I think that is just her true colors. And I think that she is put amongst a cast of women who she has jealousy towards, and it manifests in how she treats them, how she divides the group, how angry and, evil just she appears to be. Like I said, she's constantly rotating different men. And, people always talk about Kenya, who's like paid men to come on the show, which I don't really believe that. But I believe that Gizelle has conjured up stories and conjured up fake relationships just to kind of keep some type of footing in this show. And I'm just really confused at her ability to stay on the show for as long as she has, giving these fake relationships and this past 2 seasons of division in the group. It was crazy to me, the energy that Robin had talking about, who these screenshots of with, your husband's limp penis, talking to Candace. Like, girl, you are in no state to be talking about anybody's husband cheating. Where is yours? Where's yours? Like, the audacity, the literal audacity that Robin has. I was really embarrassed for her, because I'm thinking, girl, really? Are you truly and really talking about somebody's husband and alleged allegations against them? Being that the woman literally said that she made the story up, she was so eager to bring up, tell me about the screenshots and the woman that Chris was cheating with. Were those screenshots just made up? Girl, the audacity of you, the audacity, like, it's almost embarrassing. And one thing that I love about Candace, that I know that the Green-Eyed Bandits hate about Candace and Wendy, is that they have the range, they have the vocabulary, they have the conversation, they're quick-witted, they can demolish the Green-Eyed Bandits with their words. And that's another check mark on the jealousy, and why, Gizelle specifically, but Robin, just because she's a hanger-oner, do not like these women. And there's so many times in the reunions and in reunions past, and I always go back to When Wendy on that vacation read Robin or Gizelle for filth about not having a man, about being miserable, like even I felt bad. Even I felt bad for Gizelle when Wendy just said what we all were thinking. And I know for a fact that is probably the onset of Giselle's disdain for Wendy. Again, I know you guys have to remember that season when I think that, Gizelle was trying to allude to the fact that Happy Eddie was cheating, or there was some kind of like conversation about him cheating, and they were on this vacation, and I mean, Wendy just went in on Gizelle and Gizelle couldn't say anything. I'm gonna try to find it and insert that clip because that will forever go down in the read of reads in the Housewives franchises that I watch. Now here's the part that got me on this episode not feeling well because I could not believe it. When the conversation and the topic of colorism came up and Robin begins to cry and use that as an excuse as to why her and Candace are no longer friends. That is when I said, you know what? Let me get my notepad out for this because I can't believe the audacity of Robin to victimize and Karen herself about a topic of colorism. Like, how are you the victim in this? And this is my thing here. Like all jokes aside, all whatever aside, as a cast of Black women, for these women who are, being accused of colorism, not only by women on the show, but by the broad public, by the majority of viewers of this franchise, for you guys to have those kind of accusations about yourself and for you not to be introspective and be like, you know what? I'm not a colorist, but there has to be something that I'm saying, that I'm doing, that is making my castmates, making the majority of viewers, look at me as a colorist. Because I respect these women, even if I don't like them, because of the respect that I have for my father, who's supposed to be an activist, my mother, my brown skinned daughters, the other castmates on this cast, let me have a conversation to try to figure out, okay, listen, I may not understand where you're coming from with these allegations of colorism, but help me understand so I can correct myself and we can be on some kind of middle ground. Like, to me, the fact that they don't approach it in that kind of manner is really all that I need to know. When Robin starts to cry and said that, she was affected by the colorism comments, I just lost it. Robin said that she was so uncomfortable with the accusations and the allegations and the topic of colorism. So because you're uncomfortable, like, here's the thing. I could understand if this was the first account of the topic of colorism coming up and they were just confused, they didn't know about it. But y'all have been having this title bestowed upon you guys for a couple of seasons now. And the fact that you didn't even take the time to do the research to get a better understanding, even if you didn't do it with the women on the stage, the fact that you didn't have enough wherewithal, even if it was fake, like it really goes to show how deep their cunningness, their inability to read the room, their selfishness, it really shows how deep it goes. Because even if I did not believe that about myself, you should understand that you're on a large platform of Black women with Black women viewers of all different shades. And if you have any kind of moral anything or, love for your culture, the fact that you didn't even care enough to do any research to even be, well spoken on the topic to even try to defend yourself with anything other than these Karen tears is all that we need to see. Gizelle saying that Candace insinuated that she was a colorist. But in the same breath, Gizelle insinuated that Candace's husband was forcing her to do something. Like, apples and oranges, but it's like, girl, you are not the victim in all of this. I understand, again, it was giving Karen. It was truly giving Karen, like, crying these fake tears, saying you got death threats. Like, you don't think that your words about Chris and about other castmates and cast, members in the past has affected them and their family? Like, you're not the first one. So your defense that you are not a colorist and your defense that you are not a Karen isn't looking strong. It's not looking strong. The one thing that I consistently say about the Grand Dame is, whereas she might not agree, whereas she might not, understand, she attempts to understand, and she, stands with the women, even if she doesn't fully, even if she's not fully educated on their feelings. She respects their feelings and tries to, see both sides. And that is, to me, what they all should be doing. And again, when Wendy was saying that you guys don't have the range, they don't have the range. And I was really hoping, and really hoping, and it reminds me that last reunion when they had the opportunity to really have a discussion about colorism. I think Candace just pulled out the Webster's Dictionary of Colorism or something stupid like that. I thought that was so dumb. And I feel like not only are Gizelle and Robin missing the mark, I feel like Bravo is really missing the mark here, because they can actually open up the conversations to educate the viewer, to educate the castmates on colorism and the effects of colorism, and to go a little bit deeper than just what Candace and Wendy and 90% of people who watching are alleging. I feel like they are missing a huge opportunity to educate. And I feel like, when topics that included the LGBTQ community came up, I feel like they really took opportunities to educate, but they're not really taking the same opportunity to educate with these colorism words and accusations are being thrown out. I would have loved there are a lot of like people on Instagram that I like, not a lot, but there are a good number of people on Instagram who are well versed and well educated in the true definition, the true effects of colorism in the Black community. And I feel like what amazing content it would be to have an expert in the subject come on and discuss it and discuss the impacts. Because even here's the thing, Gizelle likes to throw the mom card out. I'm a mom and don't come for my kids. But at the end of the day, you have brown skinned little girls. And they could be the same victim of this colorism that Candace and Wendy feel like they are. So it's just not looking good for Gizelle and Robin. And for Robin to literally say the words, "It's not fair." Y'all, I'm just really confused. I'm so confused. Like, what do you mean it's not fair? Like, how are you making this about you? How are you making this about you in this manner? Like, I'm confused. Like, they don't have management. They don't have friends. Even Ashley, last season, even she tried to educate herself and be introspective and, empathetic towards the feelings of some of the members of the cast, feeling like they were being, I don't know, targeted by Gizelle and Robin. even Ashley had enough brain capacity to be able to, even if she wasn't true, at least she was able to fake it. Like Gizelle and Robin, I mean, their jealousy, their anger towards Wendy and Candace, it runs deep. It runs very, very deep. But Robin, please don't ever say that it's not fair what you're going through as it relates to colorism. For me, it's just very hard for me to process that you're saying the words "it's not fair." It's not fair. Instead of saying it's not fair, say, help me understand. Instead of saying it's not fair, making it about you, do the work to understand at least a piece of where they're coming from. Even if, I keep saying this, but even if it's not even true, like, God, girl, where is your PR? But that don't matter because she won't be on next season anyway, finally. I kept saying that, so the men come out. And when I tell you Chris Bassett, the award goes to you, honey. First of all the men came out, obviously, except for Gizelle and Robin. Like they're sitting there alone, like every season, every reunion, nobody's behind them. And, as soon as Chris comes out, here go Robin, here goes the audacity. Here goes the audacity asking, like, girl, you barely can open your mouth. You've barely had a personality. You've barely had an opinion. But now you got all the smoke for Chris. It's like they were trying to bait him. It's like they were truly trying to bait him. And I was so, so glad that Chris did not take the bait. He not only didn't take the bait, he calmly put them in their place and left them speechless. Robin thought that she really was going to get him with these screenshots and limp penis and, allegations of a woman and how, did Candace pay them off? Like, she really thought that was going to be her point in the reunion. And it didn't work. Again, the range is not there, y'all. The range is not there. You got to lie. You ain't got to lie, Robin. You ain't got to make up stuff, girl. If you put just a tenth of the investigative skills and the energy and the mouth that you gave Chris and Candace into your own marriage, girl, maybe your man would not be cheating on you. And again, I hate to come this hard for them, but it's just like they're just such nasty people. They're just such nasty people. Nasty people. But Chris held his composure, and really with someone like Gizelle and Robin, again, the range ain't there, so it just takes a little bit of word, calmness, wit, composure, and they ain't got nothing to say. Because you're on a housewife show and you're not a wife, Gizelle, and you on a housewife show and your man cheating on you and he never comes even to defend you, Robin. So come on. When Chris said next question, they kept trying to bait him. He remained calm. I don't know anything about that. Next question. I was very pleased. I was a proud parent at that point. And then it ends, and then Gordon comes on. Now I love that Andy asked the question to the men. I forgot how he posed it, but he said something along the lines of, you see basically that Juan never comes to defend Robin, and he understands that it could be a hot seat specifically for like Chris Bassett and, Gordon. But he wanted to get kind of their opinions on, their thoughts on why would Juan never come to defend his wife? And I love how the camera just focused on Robin and she just looked stupid. And the men, their loyalty obviously is to their brother. So they didn't want to throw him under the bus. But clearly, like Gordon said, I'm here to support my wife, my cheating wife. I'm here to support her. Now, if Gordon can come in his older age with his, parts not working, if he can come to the show, be FaceTiming his wife's new boo, and defend his wife, then Juan Dixon, you can get your non-working ass onto the reunion and sit your ass behind your wife, get that money, get that check, and at least, like, again, y'all, Juan and Robin's smoke are aimed at the wrong people. I think about last season when Juan, and even I think this season as well, when Juan was kind of coming for his wife on the phone and like kind of like talking to her kind of a little bit aggressive, like, you should have brought that energy to the reunion. The same way that Chris had Candace's back, Gordon had, Mia's back with a whole side dude. Like, Juan, the least you could have did was got on that plane. Like, you don't have a job. You're not working. I'm sure Robin's Real Housewives check is really like supporting the family right now. And this is no shade. This is just all just facts. Like, you could have earned that check. And again, fuck words. Actions speak louder. And your actions showed the world. It showed Robin and it showed the world, I don't fuck with you. I don't respect you. I don't care. I understand that you're going to go on this show, go on this reunion where my infidelity has been such a consistent topic on this show. And I understand that you're going to be left there by yourself with all the other women and all their husbands, standing behind them. But I'm not going to stand behind you. You can take the fire by yourself, get the check by yourself. Like, the smoke that Robin had for Chris, have it for your own man. Even if Chris was cheating, and I doubt that he was, at least he was there for his wife. Y'all, it was just, Now, I don't want to say all this bad stuff without something positive. I need to make something positive to say about Robin. Now, Robin's outfit looked nice. I thought that she looked great. Her outfit and her hair looked good this season. Gizelle, I'm so sad for her. I mean, I lost my father, so I totally understand. Daddy's girl all the way, so I totally get that. My condolences. Definitely go out to Gizelle and her family. I think Giselle's daughters are amazing. I think that her and Jamal have done a great job in spite of, their situation. But my ultimate prayer is that there is some kind of conversation, some kind of educated conversation, mandatory cast conversation where an expert on the topic of colorism comes and talks to the cast and holds Gizelle and Robin accountable. Damn, I mean, because if Love and Hip Hop VH1 can do it, why can't Bravo? Like, I feel like they've had these conversations before where there was different, topics that came up that required a more deeper dive. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing. But y'all, the reunion ended with Gordon. I love Gordon. I love Mia. Mia is my favorite. I have to say, Mia is my favorite. I love her energy. I love her vibe. I love her free. She really held this show. She put this show on life support. Like, she was the show for me this season. All I can do is respect Mia, child, because she said, you know what? Your parts ain't working. I actually love somebody else. I've given you, a couple of years, a couple of kids. Let's move on to the next phase of my life. And she did it. She's happy. She got her boo. She got, she got the love of her life, which is very interesting because that's a very short man. And Mia is she's like my height. So that's a very short man, but at the end of the day, I love, and I'm so happy to see Mia happy. It does make me feel sad for Gordon. I don't know what he's going to say. The reunion ended with Gordon about to reveal something, and I'm thinking of something about his health, which makes me so sad because he's him and his family are on the outs. Him and Mia are going through a divorce, and it makes me sad. I don't like the idea of any older anybody, but like any older black man just being by himself like that. It makes me sad, and I feel like he really wanted his marriage to work, even in a non-conventional way, and that made me sad because honestly, and I'm trying to be honest with myself. Are my glasses crooked? Lord Jesus, y'all. If I was married to Gordon for all those years and Gordon was okay with me dating somebody else as long as I didn't, and I guess how could you not make it public? And I guess you couldn't really live your true life if you have to hide it. And it seems like there was some, I don't want to say abuse, but maybe some kind of mental or verbal abuse that Gordon had on Mia that hasn't really come out yet. I feel like Mia kind of alluded to it. I don't know. I just hate it. I just hate the thought of Gordon being by himself. Especially if he broke. Honestly, if he broke like that, he could take alimony out on Mia. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. 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 I'm open for the conversation. Do you feel like Bravo is missing the mark and missing the opportunity to have an educated, informed conversation, not only informing and educating the cast, but educating and informing the viewers? Do you feel like Gizelle and Robin are Karens? Are you tired of that triangle that Candace is putting in her eye? Like, I don't like I ain't gonna lie, that gets on my nerves. Like, girl, you know, get a little bit of a backbone a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Stop crying. Cause to me, like it's not that I want her to stop crying because it annoys me. I just don't want her to give these green-eyed bandit hoes any kind of like ammunition to feel like she's weak, you know? Now I don't know what Naneka was doing, child. Like that was a whole waste of a damn. Naneka was a waste of a character, a waste of a spot. They need to bring Katie back, man. They need to ditch Robin, which they have, and they need to bring Katie back. I'm sure she could use the check as well. Anyway, guys, listen, I will see you guys on the next episode. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Share it with a friend. Let's start the conversation. I will see you on the next episode.